This is the Life's Journey with Best Friends podcast. Listen as two best friends for over 40 years share our experiences, insights, and unique stories. Sydney Barucci is a licensed massage therapist, structural integration therapist, stretch therapist, and Reiki master practitioner, specializing in myofascial bodywork, manual lymphatic drainage, and abdominal massage.
Her work is highly holistic, and she always individualizes every session, utilizing a multitude of bodywork modalities to meet her clients' needs and get the best results when working with them to achieve their long-term health goals.
She can also assist you in diving into deeper healing realms using intentional and intuitive movement, sound healing, meditation, inner child honoring, mirror work, breath work, Bowen therapy, and the emotion code.
Her practice is located at 100 Trade Center in Woburn, Mass. She's open 7 days a week, and you can make an appointment with her at 781-999-3612.
Or also reach out to her by Gmail at sydneybarucci@gmail.com. That's SYDNEYBARRUCCI@gmail.com. Also, check her out at bysydney.glossgenius.com or on Instagram at Sydney Barucci. All right, welcome back, BFFers. This is another week here at Life's Journey with Best Friends. I am Noelle.
Diana.
And we're here for your entertainment this week. This week, we're bringing up one of our kind of, I can't even talk today.
That was me yesterday. I was like fucked up. My brain, I couldn't remember anything. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Oh my gosh, this is perfect.
Smile and stick your tongue out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Why?
smile. That's how you check for stroke.
Oh.
Smile.
I didn't know that. All right, good to know. Well, this is part of our aging ungracefully segment that we were just saying that I couldn't say. Oh, seriously, I think it's getting worse. It's absolutely awful.
Aging.
Oh, it's terrible. So
the memory part for me is the worst right now.
Yeah, it's. I feel like it. I don't know if I'm just not remembering or if there's just so many things going on in my head that I'm just like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
You know?
There's not space for everything. That's my thought.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. There's not space for everything. Good. Got to dump something out. So.
Yeah, exactly.
It's usually something important though that I dump out, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that or whatever. Yeah. So statins for high cholesterol. So I have an issue with them. So I've been doing a lot of research on them. And one thing that I have found that even up to 6 years ago, the cholesterol numbers have changed. And it seems like they're being lowered. So pretty much everyone is on a statin. And there's so many different side effects to it. They're ridiculous. So I'm just talking about from my experience. So I, had gained a bunch of weight and my feet started to feel numb. And I just thought, okay.
Or numb?
What?
Like asleep?
No, first, like numb, like literally like numb. And I was like, okay, this has just got to be all the weight, on the balls of my feet. That's really where I was feeling it. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, this is kind of crazy. This is, I got to do something about it. So, all right, I'm on the medication. I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing what my doctor is telling me to do. Now I've got like these pins and needles in my feet and shooting pains. And I'm like, okay, this is not getting any better. I thought I was losing some weight. And yeah, I don't understand what's going on. We went camping this summer and I forgot to take my cholesterol medication with me. So 4 days without it, I was like, wow, I no longer have shooting pains in my feet. That's interesting. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's just because I've been, swimming a lot, walking around, doing all this stuff. So we come home. I start taking my meds again. Now I get the shooting pains back. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I contacted the doctor and I said, hey, this is what has happened. And she's like, okay, stop taking your medication. She's like, you're having like one of the really bad side effects to it. Unfortunately, because I waited for so long, I no longer have the shooting pains, which is great, but I will probably have numbness in the balls of my feet for the rest of my life. It did permanent damage. Isn't that
Really?
awful? Yeah. So something that was supposed to help me actually ended up hurting me. So yeah. So I'm like, I'm not doing cholesterol medication ever again. I'm done. So you know what?
My
I gotta.
doctor wanted me to go on cholesterol medicine, and I was like, let me try to lose weight first because I am not going on a statin.
Yeah. So Dave, the same thing happened with him, and he talked to his doctor about the scan that he did. And basically, what it does is it looks at all your arteries to see if there's
Yeah.
any. And she said, well, yeah, you could do that, definitely. We'll see how it comes out. If it's clear, I won't put you on any medication. She says, however, your insurance doesn't cover it. So it was like $200. And he was like, that's worth it to
100
me.
bucks, that's nothing.
Right. So he did it and everything is completely clear. And she's like, you're absolutely fine. So there are other things that you can do,
Why don't
regardless of you,
they do that more often, the scan,
because your insurance doesn't cover it. So they
but
don't even
offer it?
know about it. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Why don't they just say,
I'd
hey,
pay
here's
the
something else?
200.
Yeah. Right. So next time you go to your doctor, mention that and see.
I gotta
So
find a new doctor.
come up to mine. You'll love
He
her.
wants me on statins this one, and I'm like, I don't want to be on them. And again, I think it's because you're right. They don't have you fast,
Right.
and they don't lower your. They did lower the numbers.
Yeah, they did. They totally did. And there was no reason for them to do it. So, what they're finding, and this is just on my research, this is not anything that, I'm
This
saying
is
is
just
true.
our opinion.
Yep. That our body is starving for fat and for this cholesterol because that's what your brain is made out of, is fat.
My body is not starving for fat. Sorry.
Well, so the people that are on statins now, you noticed statins there's so many people on them. What else is
Yes.
also increased? Alzheimer's, dementia, brain issues.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if
Huh.
this is true, but this is what they're finding right now. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, that's interesting.
yeah,
I feel
very,
like, yeah, they poison you with a lot of these drugs.
yeah. Well, and my doctor, I love her, love her, love her. She does everything for me. Whenever I ask, she, she'll talk honestly. So when I had gone on the statins, got some back pain, and was like, nope, I'm not taking them. And she's like, said to me, listen, I would really be upset if something happened to you, knowing that you could have prevented it by taking this medication. I was like, all right, the guilt set in. So I was like, fine. So I started taking it. Little did we know that I was going to
I would
have
have
this
done the
reaction.
same thing.
Yeah, right. Which was wonderful for her to say. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it's better than them yelling at you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So,
Or
but that's
saying, do you want to die?
yeah, exactly. Like, you're gonna die if you don't do this. Yeah, that doesn't sit well with me. Being
No,
nice is so much better.
no, it
So
is right.
that, that's my aging ungracefully for this week. Sucks.
My aging ungracefully is my memory. My
Still, yeah.
memory. And I play games, and I don't know, yesterday I was just having like a brain fog day. I couldn't remember. I was talking to my dad on the phone, and then Lauren and Will came in, and I totally went right out my head what I was thinking, what I wanted to say to him. And
Well,
but then it pops in when I'm not trying to think about it, because then I moved on to something else, and then it popped into my head what I really was. It's like
yeah,
bad.
you got distracted. So it's almost like you've gotten a ADHD as an adult. I wonder if that's a thing.
I think I've always had it. ADD.
Probably.
I don't think I had ADHD.
Okay.
I was never hyperactive, but I always was like not paying attention.
Right. That
I
could,
think
could be.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Your hair looks lighter.
It's just the light. It really
Uh,
isn't lighter.
okay. I was gonna
It's
say you
maybe
must
because I don't have a lot of it left, so it looks lighter.
bitch.
My bald spots.
Speaking, no, that's great. Speaking
That's my
of,
other aging ungracefully is losing my fucking hair.
yeah, but that's because of the shot, isn't
I
it?
don't know, Noel. I think it could be menopause.
Oh my gosh, I love your mug.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Thank
mine's
you.
mine's
I
better,
love you.
but
Mine's still, that one is still in a box somewhere.
but that's so super cute. Oh, awesome. So losing your hair, huh? That sounds like a vitamin thing.
I don't know. I don't, I tried the Nutrafol. For me, I felt like it's very expensive and I'd been on
It
it for
is.
a while and I haven't really seen any results. So that's just me personally. I know it works for other people.
Right.
But I just am like, uh, you know, I don't know. I'll get extensions or something.
We should reach out to Eric and ask him if there's anything that he recommends, even if it's something that you can put on your hair or
Good,
something.
actually. Yes, I was
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Yeah. So I got one of the things that he recommended was this like a spray, kind of the only thing that I can equate it to is uh, what was that stuff that you're supposed to take? Teachers, see, brain dead. Teachers invented it and airborne. So,
That was
but
by
this,
teachers?
what teacher? Yeah, they want a teacher created it.
I did
Yeah,
not know that.
yeah, because they always get so damn sick with all the kids,
Right.
Yeah, the plague of children. Yeah, so a teacher
Yes.
created it. But he has this version that's made from mushrooms. Now you don't eat the mushrooms, so don't panic. It's a spray, and it's made with like 3 or 4 different type of mushrooms, and it has different flavors. Like there's a peppermint, there's a cinnamon, which is the one I have, and you spray it in your mouth and you swallow it, and it's supposed to give you like immunity or like some immunity properties. I don't know if that's the right word. Anyways, but it's supposed to
Community,
help you.
period.
Yeah, exactly. Ward off. So if you're around people. So a woman that I work closely with this week is very, very sick, coughing
Still,
all over the place. And I'm like,
she's
oh
back.
God. And I'm like, what that? So I've been spraying that shit like there's no tomorrow. So I'll let you know next week if it really works.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so. Try it
me
out,
too.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So he was saying like when he gets before he goes on a plane or anything,
He uses
or
that.
yeah, he'll use that, and then if he's going into like a crowded place or whatever. So I was
That's
like, yep,
smart.
yeah. After being sick for 3 weeks, man, I don't
All
want to get
right,
sick.
trust
It
me. I totally hear you on that. That was awful, wasn't it?
was terrible.
Literally was sick for 3 weeks. I didn't
Hmm.
think I was like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, it was awful. So I hadn't gone to my new gym class, and they sent me an email saying, "Are you okay?"
Missed
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
That's
We need
awesome.
we need your money. No,
No,
but
they
no, I
missed
was
you.
yeah, but I was like, oh, that was really nice to, that they reached out and whatever. So, and then the
Yeah.
same thing happened to Dave because he was out. He got it after me, and they were like, "Are you okay?" Because they kept seeing me check into
Yeah.
class, but not him. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome that you go without them.
Oh yeah, a couple of years ago I would have never, but now, yeah, I'm
Awesome.
like, got to do it.
Good.
So we're also when this episode airs, we will have done month, a dry October, a sober October. What's that face? You didn't do it? What do you mean you didn't do it? She's shaking her head for those
I
that
didn't.
are
I didn't
watching
want
us.
to tell you, but I had some slips.
Tell me. Oh, oh my gosh. So, all right, go ahead, tell me. I'm so upset. No, actually, I'm psyched. I did it before. I did it without you.
You did, and I was so fucking proud of you for that.
Mhm.
So proud of you.
So, what did you slip? What did you do?
I just had drinks.
Oh, okay. Well, I get it.
I
So
was out and I was like, you know what? I've done it for 90 days.
yep.
So I'm gonna see if she can do it.
Yeah, no.
So
I've actually already surpassed the
I
31
didn't
days.
I didn't want to tell you I drank because I didn't want you to be like, oh, well, then that means I can drink.
I appreciate that because
No,
you know I would have.
because I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. So I had the
So,
drink a couple of days before October had started.
right.
Um, so yeah, it'll be over 31 days.
That's
And
awesome.
so today was such a shit show at work. I was like, thank God I'm doing this because I would be like, nope, we're going out for Margs and tacos. Don't care.
Right? See?
But yep.
Don't miss it.
Yeah, I do a little, but no.
So last weekend we went down to South Carolina and we didn't drink.
Mm,
Amy and Derek, they weren't drinking, and I was like, all right, we can do this.
yeah,
And we had a ton of fun.
that's awesome.
Yes,
How come they're not drinking?
they're dieting.
The two people that don't need to diet. For God's sakes.
I did drink Friday on my way down to the I
I
drank at
don't
the
blame.
airport.
I don't.
Sorry.
Okay, wait a minute. You got to tell me what happened on your way back on Sunday.
Oh my
So
God, you
you
guys.
have to understand, Diana flies a lot. So she's
Well,
coming into like all of these freaking like horrible stories between her flight being delayed for weather and now some crazy shit, shit
legit.
happened.
And you know how
Yeah,
I love to talk about shit, right?
yeah, please.
So we boarded the plane Sunday and it was like right on time. Everybody was happy. Now I've been flying a lot, like Noelle said, and I haven't really had a totally full flight. This flight was totally full. So, everybody's in their seat. We're getting ready to take off. They close the door. Close the door. And
Did he just
I,
say Hodor?
yes, James.
Love
And
Hodor.
so we were I have an aisle seat so I can see everything. We were like in the 20 something row and I can see, I look up and I always pay attention to the front of the plane. So I see this lady like guiding an elderly man from the bathroom, like legit guiding him into his seat. And then at the same time, I thought, did it's the people beside me fart or behind me? Because I smell shit. And I look at Jim, I go, do you smell that? And he's like, what? And they didn't say anything for a little bit. And I'm like, Dad, that's awful. And then all of a sudden they came over the loudspeaker and they were like, we had an environmental issue. The cleaning crew is coming back on board and we will be a little bit delayed. And I'm like, oh my God, the old guy shit himself.
Oh no.
But instead of them taking him right off the plane, he sat back down in his seat.
Oh.
Then they finally took him off, got the bag, took him and his lady, I don't know who it was, off. They come in, they had to clean the seats. I'm like, imagine being that person that was beside them in that row because it was a totally full plane.
Oh, that's
So
awful.
I was saying to Jim when we landed, because we didn't end up being that late, thank God. They came in, they cleaned it, whatever. But I have read online that flights have been turned around mid-air because of an accident like that. Someone shit themselves or had diarrhea all over the plane.
I was thinking that I'm like, what would happen if you were in the air and that
I would
happened?
have been so fucking pissed. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get home at that point. You're on the plane, you know what I mean?
Why would they? Yeah, I mean, it's only a couple hour flight, so hopefully they wouldn't turn around if it was in the first 15 minutes or
I
something.
don't know what they would have, don't know. But yeah, that was my interesting Sunday afternoon. I was like,
Nice.
what the heck?
Oh, the poor guy.
I
But yeah,
felt
why
so
would
bad because he was elderly, and I'm like, I mean, accidents happen, and the poor guy on the plane, he must
right?
have had to go, I
Or
don't,
it could
and
have been
those
a
bathrooms are
colostomy bag.
tiny, huh?
It could have been a colostomy bag that exploded.
It could have been, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't
yeah.
know what happened. All I know is shit was involved.
Okay. Well,
So,
we
but
haven't
that,
had a shit story in a while,
no,
so
and once we took off, we were good to go.
good.
And the smell went away. Thank you,
Oh, good.
Jesus. So my topic is a pop culture. It's the Menendez trial, or the Menendez brothers, because they're back in the news.
Yep.
Um, so back in I think it was 1989, they shot and killed their parents. And
Yep.
at the time, Eric was 18 and Lyle was 21. And they told the police it was a mafia hit, because what
Oh,
they did was they went in and shot their parents with shotguns, and I don't think the dad had much of a half a head left or something, and they unloaded on the mom. So they told the cops it was a mafia hit. They told them that they were upstairs, I think. There's a documentary or docu-series actually on Netflix, and that's what made me get back into this and
okay.
kind of get interested in it.
Yep.
And so I watched it, and so what it's so interesting to me, because what happened was they're saying that the dad physically, sexually, and emotionally abused these kids. Okay.
Okay.
Now I get it. They still murdered their parents. And part of me through this whole Netflix docu-series was like, were they really molested, or did they really just kill them for money?
So if I'm not, so if it was the father that was doing all this, why did they kill the mother?
Because she was also abusive and let the father knew what was happening and let the father
Okay,
do it.
do what he was doing. Okay, all right, gotcha.
Yes.
I
And
follow.
never tried to stop it.
Okay, so now what has happened? Now here we are, decades later. Why is this
30
come up
over
again?
30 years later,
Yep. Why is it come up?
um, Kim Kardashian felt that they were convicted. Um, she felt that they were wrongly convicted of murder. Like it should have been manslaughter or whatever. Um,
Why does she
because
care?
so because like you have to watch the docu-series, Noelle. So they murdered them. They didn't bring them to jail or arrest them for almost a year. They went on a shopping spree and spent millions and millions of dollars. Um, but in the first trial, they allowed all the sexual abuse stuff, right? Family
Mhm.
members attested to it, other people attested to it.
Really?
Um, yes. And it was a hung jury the first trial. They
Okay.
they had two juries, right? One for him, Eric, one for Lyle. And I think they said there were like 24 jurors, and over 12 said not guilty. And that
Huh.
was for manslaughter, I believe. And so what happened was they had to be retried. And in the meantime of them being retried, um, California, LA, they had the OJ Simpson debauchery. Is
Yep.
that the right word? Debacle, where he got off for murder. Okay, so
Right.
that was a strike. And they also had the Rodney King stuff happen.
Oh,
So
okay.
court system in LA looked like idiots, and they felt that they needed a win.
Ah,
So what they did was they put this really harsh judge on. They didn't allow a lot of the sexual abuse allegations. They didn't allow not any of it, a lot, most of it in
wow.
this trial.
Hmm.
They were,
Interesting.
yes, and then they were found guilty and they were sentenced to, like, I want to say 50 years to life
Yeah. I mean,
or life. They got life.
I
And
vaguely remember it happening. I didn't really pay much attention to it because I was paying attention to OJ, and then I was paying
right,
attention to Rodney
exactly.
King, and I was just like, all right, enough is enough. There's just too much going on. So, but I do remember, but they were found guilty, but I don't really
Yeah.
recall any of these details. So, okay,
So what happened was, and then they had them in prison for until their trials, I believe, and then they separated them.
which I'm surprised they didn't do in the beginning.
I don't know. I can't, well, they separated them and they didn't see each other for like 20 something years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they brought them back together. And I'm not sure. Kim must have been involved for a while on this. And she worked and worked and worked, and then she got the DA to file a motion. This was just recently recommending a resentence. And
Wow.
so the DA, I guess it was, there's going to be a resentencing or hearing in 30 to 45 days. And they're hoping maybe they get manslaughter with time served and they
Wow.
get out.
Well,
Um,
I do know I did see a very quick article about one of the members of Menudo who we
and
loved.
yes,
And
he was sexually, the dad was a crazy dude, man. And he
yeah,
came from a family of sexual abusers, and he always cheated on the wife, but he also liked men. Um, and he just was
it's
uh,
just a predator.
yeah, but he also was mean.
Okay.
He was very mean to the boys, to his wife. And then he decided he was the one that discovered Menudo too, the dad, which
Oh,
I
okay.
found very interesting. He signed them and made them as popular, so he made a ton of money on that, right? And then he realized he wanted to run for like an office, political office.
Oh.
He dumped the girlfriend, pulled the snow over his wife's eyes, and was like, I love you. I want to get back together with you. We're going to move to Florida and I'll run for office.
Oh, okay. So he
And
wanted to
so,
change his life, but all of this skeletons were in his closet and who knew what was
and
going
then
to
the
come
kids
out.
killed him.
So then that makes sense that that's why they said it was a mafia hit because of all
Some
the
of
stuff.
the, right. And some of the stuff in the Netflix show that the kids said he did just seems so far-fetched.
So do you believe that
I
they did?
believe there has to be some kind of abuse. I definitely do. But Lyle was like, the way they portrayed it in the Netflix, I literally went back and forth on whether I thought it was fully true. But I guess Eric wrote a letter to his cousin before any of this
Mhm.
and told him about what was happening with the dad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So maybe there was some truth to it. I don't know if they elaborated. I also know that the brother Lyle molested his brother Eric because of what the
Oh,
dad. Yeah.
now did Eric say that that happened as well? Did he admit that Lyle had abused him too?
Well, in the Netflix docu-series, it's actors, so I don't know if it's 100%. I
Oh,
believe Eric did say Lyle abused him. And the way they
Wow.
got caught,
Yikes.
the way they got caught is it was Eric's idea to kill the parents. And he asked his brother to do it. His brother was a little on the weird side and crazy and said yes. So Eric had a psychiatrist because the kids were always getting into trouble too. So
Mhm.
they had to go to for community service, they had to go to a therapist, right? So Eric, they kill the
Yeah.
parents, can't take it anymore, goes to his therapist because he knows his therapist can't say anything, confidentiality, but in reality, the therapist is recording them. And I think he told him he was recording them, and Eric confessed to the murders. The
Really?
psychiatrist therapist was having an affair, and he told the mistress about it and the tapes. He broke up with her. She went to the police and ratted on them. And that's how they got it. That's how they got all the evidence.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
She testified and everything. It was nuts. I'm telling you, you should watch the
Real?
docu-series. There's a documentary, I believe, on Netflix, and then there's a docu-series that is, it's not a docu-series, I guess. It's short series. It's played by actors about their story. Now,
Okay.
also,
Gotcha.
um,
All right.
in the, this upcoming trial that they're gonna do over, in order to get that
Mhm.
trial, 24 of their family members, including his parents' siblings, so his aunts and uncles support them and wrote letters and asked for them to be freed.
Wow. Well, this will be
One of
very
the
interesting
aunts,
to see what
they
happens.
showed that one of the aunts walked in with the father and Eric in bed. I'm
Oh,
telling you, Noelle,
really?
it was so interesting because I mean we were young back then, so we didn't probably pay a lot of attention to it.
No,
But to
no, definitely
hear,
not.
but then there's this side of me that thinks, are they guilty because they killed them and then went on a fucking shopping spree? He did a eulogy. They both did eulogies. I don't know. It just like I go back and forth.
Well, yeah. Wow. I can understand why you got sucked into this for damn sure.
Yeah, no, it was very interesting because, they didn't need, like, part of me feels like, yes, they should get out because of the
Right.
abuse they suffered. But then the other part of me is like, they murdered people and they didn't need to murder them. They could have gone to the police and told on them. But I think they're thinking people
Right.
wouldn't have
Exactly.
believed that. Back in those days, sexual abuse was like, nah, don't tell
I
anybody.
know. We didn't. Right. Exactly. It was very hush hush, and if it did happen, you kept it quiet, especially if it was in the family, which I'm so glad people don't do anymore.
Right.
But yeah, that's wow. Well, the Kim Kardashian thing just absolutely throws me
She's a
though. Like,
lawyer
I
now,
don't
so
understand.
yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
think she's the one that got this back on the radar.
Wow. Wow, that's really crazy. So she does other things besides, all the other crazy
Skins.
stuff that she does in third parties and yeah,
Yeah, she's
right.
a
Oh,
wicked advocate for like prisoners that she feels are wrongly convicted.
wow. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay. I'm gonna have to do some research on that now. So
Want to
thanks
hear
for
another
that.
weird tidbit? They're both married and they got married in jail to women that were
I
like
don't
fans and
I,
stuff.
I don't understand people that marry people that are in jail. I
I
don't
don't.
get it, especially if you're strangers. Like, I don't understand that. Like,
I don't understand it either. Like I am trying to figure out why you would be a pen pal with a murderer. You
Right.
know, I mean,
First
they
of
did
all,
admit they admitted they did it.
right. So first of
So
all, why
they're
would you be their
murderers.
pen pal? How can you spend time with them? Why would you marry them? Like that's just insane. Oh,
Crazy.
yeah. I mean, if you're with someone and they go to jail and you marry them, all right,
That's a
whatever.
different that's a
Right.
different story.
But
You know,
you don't know this person like
you don't
at
know
all.
them, right? You don't know them from Adam.
Right. And you're married, married, married.
And you're out here and they're in prison.
Right. Well, you know they're not going to leave you because they can't go anywhere. Right. Like
That's true.
what is the mental thought in that? I just
They
don't get
both
it.
received degrees in college, multiple college degrees. I mean, in prison.
Right. What else can you do there
I know, but
besides
they also said they were model prisoners. Never
oh,
never got in trouble.
well,
I think they're
I'm
gonna
kind of speechless at that.
my
Yeah.
opinion is they're released for time served.
You think so? All right. So
Yeah, I
when do
think
you
they're
what
gonna change it to manslaughter and that's what's gonna happen. That's my opinion.
all right. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. So that'll
Yes.
be a case by Diana. You can uh work with Kim Kardashian. Have at it.
I would love to. If I could have her mills,
Mm, right, exactly.
she could even be a billionaire.
That would
I
be,
don't know.
yeah, probably at this point. Who knows?
Right, because she's got that Skims company.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever tried those?
Yeah, wore 'em
Do
in
you
the
like?
wedding.
Uh,
Act, yeah, I wore it in the wedding.
what was the thing you wore for the shower with the
Same thing I
clips?
wore in the wedding. My
Oh, the
contraption.
Skims. That was
I don't know
awful.
if that one was Skims. I had two.
Oh, okay.
I might have wore the Skims to the shower. The wedding one, I needed a girdly suck you in. What are those called? The old fashioned things that hook.
Corset.
Yeah, that's what I needed. Do you know in the olden days we'd be skinny because they tie that so tight on you?
Right?
Corset.
I don't think I'd ever be skinny, so no, I wouldn't be skinny. Because then where does all the fat go? Like, does it come up here and
I think it goes underneath. Yeah, your boobs go up and
yeah,
it comes under. And
my
then they have
gosh,
the big dress so you don't see anything.
yeah, I guess so. But like, my chin would be resting on my boobs. That would not be comfortable at all whatsoever.
Oh, Lord, help us.
Well, one thing that we can say is that because this is being released like a week from us recording it, we are so happy that the election will be done.
I'm so tired of political ads on the TV. So tired.
Bring back the ED ads. Bring back the
Ugh,
tampon ads.
right?
I'm
I'm just so. Do you want to hear something funny?
yeah,
Because YouTube is flooded with political ads, right?
yeah.
So I was babysitting Mason and Bree, and we're driving down the road, and he goes, "That's Kelly Ayott's sign," and I go, "What?" He goes, "That's Kelly Ayotte." I go, "How do you know?" He goes, "YouTube," and then he says to Lauren, "What did they say about Kelly Ayotte? She's like two-faced or." He goes, Kelly Ayotte's a chameleon. Because that's her ad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is her ad.
That's how much they
Not
play
her
them.
ad, but yeah. Oh my.
Not her ad, but those are the
Yeah,
ads.
yeah, yeah. Oh my, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I am, whatever happens, happens. It's out of our hands, really. I say,
Right.
I don't think your vote really does count, but whatever. So I can't wait for it to just be done and over with.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Julie and I talked about it last week. You and I talked about it the week before. And then I got an email from our church today, right? So it's usually about prayers, like, if someone's sick,
Yeah,
um, it's
prayer
that
chain
kind
or
of thing.
something.
Right. So they're saying, pray for this one because, they have back issues. This one's got COVID. And at the very end, it says, prayers for our country and our voting process. May we show respect to each other, the process, and the outcome. I'm like, oh my gosh, they are even sending it out in our church letters. I'm like, stop, I'm
It's
done.
so divided, isn't it?
It's it is. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And
It'll be
yeah, I
interesting
kind
to see what happens.
yeah, you know what? We'll survive whatever happens, it
You
is
just
what it is, but
trudge along.
I'm done. So done with all of this.
Me too.
It's so we had, I think it was like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, I had a no political day in the house. I said, you cannot talk about it. I'm done. I don't want
That's
to
smart.
listen to it. I'm like, just one day is all I want. It was
Yeah,
really difficult for Dave and Chris to not talk about it. Every time they'd
really.
start, I'd be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then my father-in-law calls and I'm like, nope, put him on
Don't
mute.
talk about it. I don't want to know.
Don't want to hear it. So,
Oh my God. Can I tell you something?
yeah.
I have been living my Hallmark life these last 2 weekends.
How is that?
So, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, Jim and I went to this city town called Conway, which is like 15 minutes from us or whatever. And they have all their streets in the main part of the town decorated for Halloween. So you just walk up and down the whole city center
Yeah.
and they have like in the trees, they're all lit up with twinkly lights and pumpkins.
Oh,
Um Over by the city hall, they have this fountain. It was green water with witches' hats hanging. They have the big statues, talking things, ghosts. It
oh,
was the best thing, right?
I'm going next year.
Yep. And then that was Friday. Then Saturday, Merle's Inlet has this thing called the Witches Walk, and it's a fundraiser. And I legit felt like I was in a Hallmark movie because everybody, it was like you walked, it's at the Marsh Walk. So it's
Yep.
this long pier and it has like maybe 10 bars and restaurants and you can walk and stop and everybody's friendly down there. You're looking at everybody's costumes. They're taking pictures. The
Oh,
women dressed up as witches and the men, some were warlocks, some just dressed up. Um, they had music and live bands and dancing, and it was just so much fun.
all right. I'm booking next year already. Yeah,
Yes.
we definitely. Oh,
And,
do
and
they do
then
anything like that for Christmas?
so then there's a couple things. So
Okay.
then um we went to Calabash, North Carolina, which is 20 minutes from us, which I didn't know. And they have the giantest Christmas store that I have ever been in. And when I tell you, I was like giddy and jumpy and like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I went up to Jim, I go, I have Christmas overload. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to look. I was like so excited. I'm like, this is my Hallmark life right now. I'm living. Um, but down there, I don't know if they do it on the Marsh Walk, but there's Brook Green Gardens. It's a garden down there. I believe it's in Merle's or Garden City. And they have something called the Night of 1,000 Candles. And you walk through this
Oh,
unbelievable garden of just like flowers and statues and fountains, and they just have 1,000 candles everywhere and lit up the trees. And so I
oh,
can't wait to do
beautiful.
that.
So the area that had the pumpkins and stuff in the trees, are you going to go back there to see if they do anything for
I
Christmas?
know they definitely do stuff for Christmas. I just don't know what it looks like. I
Oh,
follow them on Facebook and they said they talk about Christmas as well.
oh, okay.
It
Oh my,
was so cool.
Oh,
So
that's so
cool.
awesome. I'm so
Yeah,
jealous. But
it was.
all right, next year we're definitely in. I'm doing it.
Yes. Yes,
We need
absolutely.
we need to get matching shirts.
I did buy a Hallmark shirt. It said I'd rather be home watching Hallmark movies.
Of course you did. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I sent a picture to the kids and Lauren goes, sigh. Oh, very excited.
That's awesome. Oh yeah. Sounds so awesome.
You want to know
All right.
something else
Sure, what?
of this weekend? I was swimming in the ocean, legit swimming.
You don't swim in the ocean.
I know, Noel, that's how nice it was. I was in the ocean swimming. Ask anybody.
Oh my, well, how warm was the water?
It was in the 70s.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. You must have been so happy to come back to Massachusetts. Not.
on the ship plane.
And now it yeah, and now it's gonna be like 29 degrees tonight.
I know.
It
I
was
know.
snowing here the
I
other
know.
day.
I couldn't believe Meg sent a video. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
what?
disgusting. Yeah, awful, awful. I feel like though that Halloween the last 10 years has not been as cold as it was when we were younger. Do you
This
remember like we would have to put our jackets and
I
hats
know.
on?
Lauren talked about that. She says all she remembers is wearing her jacket and mittens. She doesn't ever remember it being nice. I'm like, oh yeah, you had a we had a couple of warm Halloweens with you. We'd
Really?
walk around with no coats on,
Yeah, that's what I remember
drinking
too.
our beer, pulling
In
a
a
cart, putting it in the stroller and pushing it along.
in my old neighborhood, we used to have hot chocolate out for the kids, and then we would do Jello shots for the adults.
Fun.
Yeah, it was great. But we don't do that anymore, so which is okay. Leave it to the
Yeah.
youngsters.
Right. We matured.
Oh, I like that. We matured. Not that we've gotten old, we matured. Okay, that's what we're gonna say from now on. We're not
Okay.
old, we're matured.
You're right. We're mature.
I don't know about mature. I still think balls and farts
That's
are
a
fun, so
funny.
I'm not sure if that's
And shit.
and shit. Oh, all right, so I guess that's it for this episode, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, until our next episode, BFFers, we will see you next week. And please remember
It's better
that
to have a friend with two chins.
than two faces.
I did
Yeah, you did it right. Hi, BFFers. We talk a lot about aging ungracefully on our podcast and are always looking at ways to improve our overall health.
One of the ways to do that is to purchase quality products that are high in nutrition.
Natural Food Exchange is passionate about providing you with the highest quality, natural, and organic products. They are dedicated to promoting a healthy lifestyle through a carefully curated selection of nutritious foods, supplements, and wellness products.
Check out Natural Food Exchange in person at 39 Pleasant Street, Unit 1A in Stoneham, or visit their website, naturalfoodexchange.com.
Get 15% off of your order when you use the code BFF15 or use the QR code on our website at www.lifesjourneywithbestfriends.com.
You've been listening to Life's Journey with Best Friends. For details on any of the things we've mentioned in the podcast, including photos, visit our website lifesjourneybff.com. You can also email us at lifesjourneybff@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads.
Remember, no matter where life takes you, you are never alone when you have a best friend by your side. Until next time.